So welcome back to the 6th installment of the 10-6 diaries. So this session was 3 days post running 400 and doing long jump. So I took an extra day's recovery just to freshen up a little bit, so I moved my session to Tuesday. Worked out quite well because I was racing on the Sunday and my training was planned for racing on the Saturday. So it kind of worked out well in the end, but didn't really feel great during this session though. I felt just a little off, felt a little flat. I then realised on the Thursday session when I was about to spike up that I'd popped one of the bubbles on my max flies. I think it was the right shoe that I popped, and it maybe explains why I felt a little bit flat, but also it might have just been some residual fatigue from competing on the Saturday, doing the long jump, doing the 400. So that might explain it, but the times honestly are looking really solid considering, because 5.14 is what I was running last year over 40. So definitely, this time last year that's what I was running. So definitely, positive trends in times. I'm definitely getting a lot faster as the weeks progress. But yeah, just didn't feel great during that session. Then in the weight room, so I did that session as well at 11, and it was 7 degrees out, so it wasn't amazing conditions. But I then had work for 6.5 hours, and then after work I headed straight to the gym. I had to, I ended up waiting, I think it was a good half hour just to get this barbell. So I was literally just sitting on my phone waiting for this person to finish deadlifts, and yeah, definitely think I probably wouldn't go back to this gym again because it was just one squat rack. It was really small, but gotta be grateful for the facilities that I do have. I'm really lucky to have, the track that's, 10-15 miles from my house, and, to have access to, gyms that have air conditioning, that, actually have equipment. So I've got to be grateful for that. But yeah, it's just, not ideal, but it is what it is. You've got to just make do with what you've got. So then for my Wednesday session, it was, my Wednesday, which was now my Thursday session. So Thursday was back to the track. I was doing some sprint float reps, so sprinting 30, floating 30, did that 3 times, keeping it nice and easy. And then in the weight room, it was just block cleans, some 2-step squats, some, I'm trying to think what else it was, calf raises and good mornings. So again, the focus for my strength work, for my squats specifically, is just slow strength. Reason for this, so I typically wouldn't advise people to do slow strength during season or when they're doing sprints, but for me it's sort of situational, and that's a big thing, I guess. I could get into in another video, is just why individualization is important and why it's important not to follow what I'm doing, because what I'm doing here is specific to what I need to do. And the reason I'm doing slow strength is because I had knee pain back in December that I just didn't really, I didn't want to start rehab. I think I talked about in a video that I didn't want to start doing rehab before my season because I didn't want to sort of mess things up, when I probably should have just focused on rehab for a few weeks, and it probably wouldn't have, messed my season up or done much to my season. But I didn't do that, so now I'm doing it just to get my knees in a good state where I'm able to kind of do some jumps in training and get that sort of stimuli it back into my training. So that's why I'm doing that. So as I say, don't copy what I'm doing, because the work that I'm doing is individualized to me, and it maybe is something that I'll kind of go in depth in a video. I do want to do a lot more sort of series type videos where I go over maybe some of the pitfalls that I've found and how I feel because I feel what I've learned has been super valuable over the past few years of my training for sprints, and I feel it could certainly help a lot of beginners and a lot of others avoid the pitfalls that I fell into, and that luckily I've managed to kind of get out of, because a lot of the pitfalls I've fallen in are hard to sometimes get out of, especially some of the injury ones. So I'll maybe do that at some point. But yeah, then before the 200 meet, I did a little shakeout session the day before. I love to do some pogos, the day before I sprint. I don't know what it is, I just like to kind of get elastic, get a sweat going, and then rest up, get ready for the meet tomorrow. So this was the warm-up area, did a little 3-point start, a little 30 metres from blocks, then I was ready to go. So 30 metre from blocks, didn't feel amazing honestly, like my block starts have been feeling a little off, and I think it was just the fact that I've been sort of like leaning the starts a little bit and not having the arms like nice and straight. So I think that might have been my problem, but then as I say, you know, the Wednesday session I sort of fixed it and the blocks felt really good. But yeah, this was my first 200 metre race of this year, second 200 metre race of my life, 23.1. You know, considering the fact that I've ran sub 11, it's very, very poor. But I think what my like 400 metre race that I'd ran, and more so with the 200 metre race that I'd ran, you know, a few weeks ago, shows is that there's like a lot of potential just by doing some of these longer sprints, and I feel like I've got a lot of potential if I just sort of like train right the next few years. I'm just kind of, you know, I sort of like really believe in myself and believe in my ability to kind of keep improving, and you know, I'm not going to put limits on myself and say that I'm never going to achieve certain times, but you know, I'm not going to know until I kind of give it my all and turn every stone. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep going until, you know, the wheels fall off. So that's the plan. But yeah, treated the 200 metre meet just as like a little training session basically. I did the 200 and then like 60 minutes after I went and did the weight room session, and the power cleans and like a lot of my power work in the gym has felt really like just weak recently, but strength wise looks like I've sort of like maintained the strength, which is good, but yeah, just not feeling amazing like power wise. So this is my Wednesday session here. So as you saw there, my blocks were looking really clean, I felt really good coming out of them. And then, you know, my times in general were just looking good. So this was a half 10th PR for 50 metres, and yeah, it felt really good. I also hit 10 metres per second for the first time post injury, so I was gassed to see that. And this isn't like a free lap 10 metres per second, I did hit that for my first rep. This is like a video time, so I timed it with this video over the 20 metre segment, and it was 1.99, so again, I was just like very, very happy to, you know, legitimately hit that post injury, and that's like the fastest that I've clocked myself on like video timing. I've maybe went slightly faster in like windy conditions, but yeah, I feel like I'm just shaping up really well. One thing though with that session, my adductor felt a little tight after that last rep, so I kind of called the session, went to the weight room, took it nice and easy with like lifts, and then called it a day. And I've rested up, so I'm just going to kind of watch my adductor for the next few sessions, but I feel like I should be good to start pushing again, hopefully. So planning to do some sprints tomorrow, which will be the day this video is uploaded. But yeah, I'm just like really looking forward to opening up my season over 100, just like competing this year. I think it's going to be a really good year, you know, knock on wood, providing I can stay healthy. So that's just going to be the main focus, is just staying healthy, prioritizing freshness, and we'll see what we can do. So as well, I was on the phone on a like video call with my coach just yesterday. We were just sort of like talking about training over the next 2 weeks before this meet, and we just sort of like spoke about sort of the potential that I've got with the fact that I've not done as much like speed endurance or longer sprint reps. So again, looking forward to just doing that over the summer and, you know, reaping the benefits of that. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, let me know if you have any other video ideas you want me to do, you want to see. And I think that is everything for this episode, so I will see you in next week's episode of the 10-6 Diaries.